Analytical Chemistry. This is CHEM 211. Now, my name is Samuel Mugo, and I've given you my email. It is the best way to contact me, especially with the COVID situation. You know, we won't be in the office a lot, but nonetheless, you know, that's my office number, 5-131C. Now, the textbook resource that we're going to mainly use in this course is going to be the Quantitative Chemical Analysis by Daniel Harris. And there are many different editions, you know, that we can use. I don't necessarily recommend any particular edition, so whatever edition that you can get hold of, you know, that would be good enough. Now the latest edition is the 10th edition, you know, the one to the right. Now I do not demand or mandate, you know, that you buy the textbook. I recommend it nonetheless. I also have a couple of copies, you know, in my office that you can borrow and return. However, the notes that I will provide will be detailed enough for you to pass the course. Again, I emphasize that if you need to learn more about the scope of analytical chemistry, I recommend that you get a textbook. But again, I do not mandate, it's not compulsory, you know, that you buy the textbook. Now, maybe you're asking yourself, what did I get myself into, you know, in applied analytical chemistry? And possibly you've heard quite a bit of things from other previous students about this course. And so in this introductory lecture, I'll try to introduce the course and the expectation for the course, as well as, you know, my approach to teaching, so that each one of us, you know, is clear on what is expected in this second year applied analytical chemistry course. Now, I'd like first to indicate that it's important, you know, for you to find your place in society, you know, through chemistry. And in my teaching, I always emphasize, you know, that the space to which I teach in this course is a safe space. And so everyone here is valued, everyone here is respected, your voice counts, and I'd like you to be totally engaged, you know, in this course. Ask lots of questions, because that's why you're here, you know, to learn as much as you can out of this course. It's important, you know, for you to realize that chemistry is intricately connected with society. And my approach to teaching is to show you that interlink, you know, between society and chemistry. And so I hope, you know, the applied analytical chemistry course that we take is going to help you, you know, to find or even accelerate, you know, your career path as you find your place in society. So maybe I pause for a minute, or maybe you pause for a minute and you ask yourself, what are your expectations as you take this analytical chemistry course? And, you know, in the few minutes ahead, I'm gonna talk about what my expectations would be. First, starting with my teaching philosophy. As I've sort of mentioned before, my focus in my teaching is to illuminate to you the relevance of this course and its applications, you know, to society. So I focus a lot, you know, on applications. I also focus a lot, you know, on knowledge utilization in terms of what are you learning in the course content and how does it relate, into solving problems, you know, in the society, where you live and to where you are headed in terms of your career path. So in my teaching, I do not only focus on you knowing, but especially in applied analytical chemistry, I focus a lot on what you can do, the skill sets that you acquire, and what you can do in terms of solving problems in the society. So I expect, that you're going to be engaged, as I said. I expect that you're going to ask lots of questions, even though you're doing these online. And so questions such as what if, how, why. None of these questions, are dumb questions. And so put them on the table, ask lots of these questions. You also expect that you're going to appreciate analytical chemistry and its relationship to the community and the real world, where we all live. And I also hope that you're going to enjoy and celebrate the learning process as we do this together. Now maybe you've heard, that analytical chemistry is involving. And yes, it is. But I'd like you not to stress out. I'd like you to pace yourself. But while you've gotten a challenge, I'm always open, to support you and to help you. So again, do not stress out. Do not stress out. And so I'll highlight, some of the course expectations specifically, from the course outline. As the course outline states in terms of the course description, the focus of this course is classical methods of analysis, as well as instrumental methods of analysis. So initially, I'm going to highlight when we start talking about the course content, specifically the classical methods of analysis, as well as the instrumental methods of analysis. A part of this course is also mainly quantification or quantitation. And so you'll be taught, or you will learn a lot of data analytic methods, how to treat data, and how to represent, data as well. Now this course also includes numerous real-world examples of organic and inorganic analysis and how they apply, to the modern-day industrial applications. And so as I said, beyond the comprehension, beyond knowing, this course is also going to help and expose to you students the synthesis of scientific literature, and also you're also going to get you to learn some presentation skills, and especially, in regard to the term project that I'm going to talk about. My assumption is that you registered in this course because you already have the course prerequisite, which is CHEM 1 or 2, which hopefully you got a minimum grade of C-. And of course I expect that I'm going to be building on what you already know in Chemistry 1 or 2, especially the chemical equilibrium processes and so on, which are the mainstay, of analytical chemistry. As far as evaluation is concerned, again, we are doing these online, so there are lots of things that are going to look different. So I'm going to have assignments, and the assignments will be about every 2 weeks online. So after you get your lectures, which again are going to be online, asynchronous, they're going to be recorded as what we are doing now. After every 2 weeks, I'm going to give a small online quiz so that, you are up to speed, on what you are learning. There's also going to be a midterm exam, which again is going to be online, and it will be done around the 9th of November. Now, in this course, you're also going to have a term paper, and the term paper is going to be 10%. And it's very important you take note of the due dates. I would expect the term paper draft 1 to be submitted to me before or on 23rd of October. And the purpose for this is so that I can give you some better feedback on what you can improve on that term paper. So the term paper draft is going to be due on the 23rd of October. The final paper is going to be due on the 27th of November, and that's going to be about 8%. That will be a total of 10%. The poster presentation, which is going to be based on the term paper, and I'm going to give you the details on this, don't stress out at all. It's going to be due on December, the 4th, and it's going to account for about 5%, of your final grade. The final exam is going to be a take-home exam, and it's going to be 25%. The details, on when that will be are available, will be made available to you. Now, the lab component in this course is going to be 35%. Now, the lab course is going to be face-to-face, and the first lab, starts next week on Tuesday the 15th. And there will be an online lab exam, which will be 5% of the 35%. Which is going to be the 22nd, of September. That's when it's going to be completed. And again, you're going to do that. Online. Take note of the following: students must complete 70% of their laboratory component, to pass the CHEM 3 level. So let me talk a little bit, about the term paper project. Now, the term paper project, the purpose of it is to introduce you to scientific writing, to synthesis, and to reading of scientific papers with proper referencing, of those papers. And so this will be an assignment, and you must post your topic for your term paper, by 2nd of October, and the topic should be posted, on Blackboard. I'm going to create a link for you to be able to post your term paper topic. The general theme for the term paper, so that all of us are doing something that is sort of related, so that you can collaborate and so on. The theme for the term paper is going to be wearable analytical devices for rapid environmental, food, or clinical diagnostics. It's going to be a very broad thing. Essentially, is making small analytical devices that are portable and can be used for environmental analysis, for food analysis, or even clinical analysis. So maybe you're wondering, what type of topics, you can choose from. And I'm going to give you a list, of topics that previous students, have done. For example, a student did previously on making a piezoelectric sensor to detect the movement of fetus or even to monitor sleeping behavior. Another student, at some point worked on making an electrochemical sensor based on molecularly imprinted polymers for determining melamine contaminant, in baby milk. Another student, worked at some point on fish freshness analysis using metallic electrodes or potentiometric electrodes. So lots of different topics you can choose from. And all these topics, are still available for you to choose from them. However, you can be more creative depending on what your career path is and choose a topic of interest, that would be of interest to you. Maybe a student can do something on wearable sensor, for the COVID-19 virus. As you can see, all these different topics intricately connect, with societal problems. And that's what analytical chemistry is all about. It's about taking a societal issue and trying to solve it, using analytical measurement. And so you can see, the connection, and hopefully the topics that you choose, will be similar to that, societal problem that you can solve analytically. So again, maybe just to point you in the direction of where to start. Maybe you're asking, where the hell do I start to select, a term paper topic? Well, you can select, from the topics that I've already given in the previous slide. But maybe you can even do better by personalizing your own learning. You can personalize your topic, based on your intended career path. Or if you're not very clear on what your career path is, you can personalize the topic based on the societal questions that capture your passion. It could be, food contamination. There could be environmental contamination. It can be air pollution. It can be wearable devices, for detection or monitoring of sports performance. Whatever it is, that captures your interest can be tied, to analytical chemistry, and that can be the basis, of where you start to select your term paper topic. As far as personalization is concerned, you already have assignment 1 on Blackboard actually, which is introducing yourself. And so on the Blackboard discussion board, introduce yourself. And actually what you need to say is your name, your program major, and also answer the question, what is your intended career path, and what societal issues capture your interest that you would like to contribute to providing solutions. And based on that, if you actually struggle to get a term paper topic, together it can help you, to capture a term paper topic, that is very relevant, to your persona in terms of where you would like to go. So note again, the deadline, for when you need to have selected your term paper topic is the 2nd of October. Now that's why it shows you what is expected, of the term paper topic, and I'll give you more details as we go along. But very briefly, the term paper topic, after you select it on the 2nd of October, I'm gonna assign you one journal article relevant to that topic, and then you're gonna get an extra journal article. So you're gonna have a minimum of 2 journal articles that you're gonna read, synthesize, understand the content. Then you're gonna write an extended summary, what I'm calling an extended summative abstract, that will consist of the graphical abstract, a bit of introduction, justification and hypothesis, and conclusion and references. And all that, would be only about 2 pages long, single space. I can give you details on that later. Okay. And you've got the term paper, draft 1 again. It's due on the 23rd of October. I'm gonna give you some feedback on that. And then you're gonna polish it for final submission on the 27th of November. Now you're gonna base your poster presentation on your term paper, and I'm gonna give you a template to use, and the poster presentation again is gonna be due on December the 4th. So let me quickly talk about the lab component, expectations. Again, analytical chemistry is applied, so it's hands-on. I'll post the lab manual on Blackboard, so print the specific lab that you'll be doing and bring it, into the lab. In the lab, you'll be required to have the safety apparatus that are required, such as the safety glasses, a lab coat, And of course you have to bring in a lab notebook as well, and I recommend the physics notebook, so you bring a hard covered physics notebook, into the lab, and it will be great. It is very important, that you bring that. Okay. The first lab is gonna be on Tuesday, September 15th, and I'm gonna post the schedule for that online by the weekend. There will be a lab exam which is online on September the 22nd. Okay, and in the lab you're gonna demonstrate, that you've got the gravimetric and volumetric techniques. You're gonna demonstrate that in the lab on the 22nd of September. Okay, and I've just said, there will be an online lab exam, that will be posted on the same date, 18th September. So the due date for the completion of the online lab is going to be the 25th of September. So briefly, just take a look, at the lab requirements and what you must bring into the lab. I've already talked about the few things: the physics notebook, the safety glasses, the lab coat, the lab manual as well, and so forth. Now, because of the COVID and the fact that, we have to social distance, I can only have 9 students in the lab at any given time. And so for that reason, in the lab face-to-face, you're only gonna do 5 different experiments. Okay? And so again, 15th of September, that's when they start. On when you will come to the lab, because you're gonna do it alternately. Those who come on the, I'm gonna post, the schedule on when each student is gonna come to the lab. So take a look. Pay attention to that. I'm gonna post, the schedule on what each student, should come to the lab. So other than that, I think welcome again, to the CHEM 211, and I look forward to engaging with you. And going forward, again, I'm gonna be posting the recorded lecture content, about 30-minute segment per lecture, and then you review it at your own time. And during the lecture segments, Wednesdays and Fridays, at 3:30, to 4:30, I'm gonna make myself available, for questions, on Blackboard. Collaborate, where you can connect. If you've got any questions, I can address them. But I really hope, as much as possible, most of us get to connect on the Blackboard Collaborate on Wednesdays, and Fridays. But again, they are mainly office hours. It's not mandatory to come, but I really encourage you, to come. Thank you.